That's a pretty old-fashioned cell phone. Modern ones only weigh about a pound and are no more than 12 inches long. The chimney probably went through several rooms, so that it could give off heat all over. This castle must be a few hundred years old. The chimney probably went through several... Wow. The car seems to have withstood the impact well. The piano seems to me to be at least 100 years old. Mom got a lot of pleasure from it. She used to play piano very well. I don't play any instrument at all. And if I could, then I'd rather play bass in a grunge band than a piano in a castle. A finely carved wooden chest. Now are my things in there? Locked. Yeah, well, it would have been too simple otherwise. The lock in the lid kind of suggests that it's not going to be easy to get the lid open. Yep, so it is. The carving shows small circles over a line. Perhaps some kind of pitch information? That's too many circles. Bobby must have had himself a sandwich. There's the wrapping paper still lying. It doesn't look like there's been a fire here recently, but I'll take one of the smaller pieces. Now my fingers are all black. The circles are recessed into the wood. That means that they must be able to be traced on the paper using a piece of charcoal. Hey, worked well. You can easily recognize the circles as well as the lines. What if the circles on the chest are simplified notes? Notes which just give the pitch but not the duration of the note. Could the circles on the chest be simplified notes? Notes which just give the pitch, not the duration? If they really are notes, then there's a starting point missing. Perhaps you can begin anywhere and just have to pay attention to the relative pitch of the notes with one another. That was it, I think. I didn't make any Always the same note. I'm guessing that the chest isn't as old as it looks at first glance. You have to enter the right three-figure combination. Like it's done something. combination worked. All right, there's my stuff. This stuff. I probably won't need the rest anymore. Oh, great. Wonderful. I'm in the middle of nowhere. The next house could be miles away, and Tom could be back at any minute. I think I better find out where I am first. If Tom does come back, I can always jump into the bushes. The boy's around 12 years old, I guess. Looks like he could be watching me. I know you're there. Come out, I'm not gonna hurt you.
You couldn't anyway. I'm much too quick for you.
If you say so. I'm Darren Michaels, a mighty physics student.
I'm Van Helsing.
Whoa, the vampire hunter? I always thought you were a bit older, sir. Can you tell me where I am? What's this castle?
Eh? It's the old Gordon's place.
The Gordons? From Willow Creek?
Willow Creek? I don't know what you're talking about. Sir Richard and Lady Eleanor used to live here.
And where are we exactly?
Where? In Wales.
Oh, great. I saw some toys in the castle. Are they yours?
Yes, all my things. And my car. I got that for my birthday. I daren't go in there since those men have been there.
You better not. They're dangerous.
Are they werewolves?
No. But they kidnapped me.
Cool.
Have you seen the two men who are living in the castle now?
Yes, nasty men.
You bet.
One of them chased me. Said he would call the police if I don't disappear.
I'm sure he wouldn't do that.
The woman was much nicer.
Which woman?
The pretty one.
I see.
Was here a few weeks ago. She was snooping around and asked me about the summer house and the laboratory. And then she went. She took some blood samples with her.
Strange. Did she tell you her name? Or what she planned to do with them?
She needed the blood for research. Angelina said.
Whoa, what?
For research. Maybe she's a vampire hunter too.
What did the woman look like?
Well, like a woman. Pretty.
Like this? Did she look like this?
Yes, that's her. But she had long blonde hair when she was here. I liked her much more like that.
Long blonde hair. And when did you say she was here?
It was before my birthday. About 4 weeks ago.
Long before we coincidentally bumped into each other in Biddeford. What kind of summer house is that?
It's all ruins. Blew up.
Really?
Yes, a long time ago. My father says that old Sir Richard died in the explosion. He had his laboratory in the summer house. He was a scientist. I think he was a vampire.
Really?
Of course. He experimented with blood. Who else does that kind of thing?
Maybe you're right. And they gave up the castle after the explosion?
Maybe. That was 10 years ago. Since I've been coming here, the castle has always been empty.
What exactly did the woman do when she was here?
Looked at the castle and the summer house, especially the house.
Do you know what she did there?
Looked for something, and I think she tried to get into the old laboratory. At some point, she gave up and started searching at the tomb in the marshes. I had to go home because it was starting to get dark. When I came back the next day, she walked past me coming from the summer house. She had a bag of blood in her hand and was very happy. And then, she left.
Listen, Van Helsing, can you do me a favor and keep watch for the car and the other man coming back? I need to have a look around here and, I need a lookout.
Of course. Nothing gets past me.
Excellent. That can't possibly be a coincidence. Angela snoops around the Gordon estate, and I discover a connection to this very family in Biddeford. Did Angelina lie to me? The question is, did she have a good reason, or does she work for the Order? I can't leave here before I found some answers. Only this window has been nailed shut. The others were left unprotected and so for the most part are broken. It looks like the occupiers moved out in a hurry. Or they didn't care about what happened to the castle. A dream habitat for frogs and swamp plants. But that wasn't ever the plan, for sure. A water hose, which apparently they... it's had it. There's a huge rip in it about a yard long. I was probably watering it over the winter, and when it froze, it will have bursted. Hoses have been real useful to me up till now. Hopefully the same goes for this one. A completely filthy... Well, who'd have thought it? It still works. That's where someone either tried to turn into the entrance, or the wall fell down through old age. A tree's blocking the way, but I reckon I can climb over the trunk. Oh, damn! That could also have gone in my eye. Is that also some kind of grave? Huh. Nope. Rather more like a water basin. There's about half an inch of duckweed floating on the water. A pulley. Somewhat battered and weathered. But it still works. Looks useful. I'll take it with me. Huh. The ground's real soft everywhere here. I think it must be a swamp. I bet as soon as it rains, you can't put one foot in front of the other. This building must be the only one you can still get into. In horror stories, there's always secret passageways under sarcophaguses like this. And they always lead down into secret underground chambers. In reality, though, I think I can exclude that idea. There are only probably some horrible beetles and corpse-eating maggots in there. There are two belts. They look like carrion slings. And they look new. The belts are a ripstop weave. They'll sure hold quite a bit. This stone statue is covered in moss, like the others. It's carrying a metal shield. Unusual. A stone figure holding weighing scales. The scales are empty. Could be Poseidon. Well, the statue's got a trident in its hand, at least. Little Van... There are some stone chips which have come off the edge. Doesn't look all too old. Angelina had opened the sarcophagus. That much is clear. But why? Three very similar trees, all about as thick as an arm, about 3 or 4 yards tall, and pretty bent over by the wind. The statues are of veiled women, grieving for the dead. In their book it says... nothing. A hook. It still looks pretty sound despite the rust. Ah, it's damn well. Hi there.
Hello.
That's a nice hatchet you got there.
I found it.
Do you think I could borrow it?
Vampire hunter never puts his weapon down.
I see. Do you never have a break from being a vampire hunter?
What else can I play? All my toys are inside.
Hey, look!
Ooh, my car!
Hey, buddy.
Of course.
I don't know what I could ask him. The little guy's hatchet. Can I just...
Of course.
I'll try to loosen the hook using the hatchet. That worked amazingly well. Huh. It's a miracle that the stairs haven't... This'll take a while. The axe is real blunt. Okay, I felled the trees and trimmed the trunks for a good 1.5 yards. Now how does that go? You can somehow rig up a tripod out of 3 pieces of wood. So... So, yep, exactly. And now, 1 tripod. This has to be erected now. All position. I'll place the sling around the back right corner, and the other around the front left one. The slings are exactly long enough to touch in the middle. I'll hang the pulley on the rope. I'll try to get as much of the rope as I can. The length just makes it. I hope it's good. What have we got? The gap is big enough to squeeze through. I only hope that my rig up. Whoa. Now where's this then? It looks like the inside of a tower. And here's some kind of crater in the floor. Looks like something's exploded here. The poster survived the explosion relatively undamaged. It was probably hit squarely by the pressure wave and then pressed against the wall. Here's a table showing the occurrences of blood groups. A piece of plastic tube. Okay, I'll stick it in. Rather light. The walls of the pipe are thin. Maybe it belongs to part of a ventilation system or something. The safe survived the explosion undamaged, I'd say. These burns may have well come from a welding set. The kid reckoned that Angelina looked real pleased with herself. Somehow she must have got the safe open. Now what have we got here? A combination lock, but not with numbers, with letters. A metal holder with several blood samples. The boy mentioned that. There's a number on each sample, and there's a list of names stuck on the back of the safe. Now let's see. Weird. The numbers 1 to 5 are missing. That's Richard Gordon and William Gordon. Gordon's blood. What does Angelina want with that? Does she need it herself or something? Or does she want to stop it getting into other people's hands? Whatever it is, I can't trust her anymore. She's in this thing somehow and she's lied to me. I ought to drive back to Willow Creek. Maybe she's turned up there in the meantime. And then we'll see. It looks like... Whoa, hey! A welding torch. Angelina was using some heavy gear. But it doesn't look like it's been used. The safe wasn't cut open. Unless I have a good reason to do it, I'm not gonna set fire to anything here. I can't get through there. The passage has collapsed a few yards in. There's paper lying everywhere. Most of it soaked through from rainwater. Here's a folder. Newspaper cuttings. From 1981. 12 years ago. William Gordon in fatal accident, Willow Creek. William Gordon fell on Tuesday from his studio in the tower of his home due to unknown causes. Blah, blah, blah. William Gordon, suicide. As the police today announced, we are now dealing with the fall of the master of Blackmere Castle, close by the village of Willow Creek. In all probability, a suicide. Here's another piece a week later. Grim serial murders in Willow Creek. Blah, blah, blah. Latest victim of Bloody Trail, Vic Valley, just 12 years old. According to police sources, his body was found next to a stone circle in the woods. The condition of the corpse gives reason to suspect a ritual killing. Another 2 weeks later. Main suspect in Willow Creek murders identified. As Scotland Yard has announced, it has been established that at 3 of the murder scenes, there are signs which suggest the involvement of Samuel Gordon, the grandson of William Gordon, who was killed last month. Samuel Gordon was found dead 2 weeks ago at the foot of one of the towers of Blackmere Castle. Apparently the tower from which his grandfather had previously... Reports about the murder fest in Willow Creek 12 years ago. No wonder that Sir Richard was interested in it. William was his brother. Chains, wrought iron rings, crudely hewn stones. Not exactly what you'd call modern craftsmanship. Rather more like a Frankenstein movie.